stuff they're putting through the internet, right, with protections and things.
Yeah.
The open media people are very good about talking about how that's going to cause a lot of restrictions, right?
Yeah.
In privacy.
Yeah.
And as things get privatized, and the security isn't very good on the private corporations that deal with our data, that'll get leaked.
They've been leaking our sorry, go on.
And that's how it's going to be. There'll be constant security leaks of data from them not being secured, from all the data that's being shared with little private corporations for all kinds of stuff, health information. It's happening worldwide, right?
Yeah, it is. It seems to be happening, like kind of in unison, especially in the West. I think there's agenda behind it. I'm not sure. I mean,
there's always agenda. There's right-wing agenda, there's left-wing agenda, and they all like fighting the culture war.
Yeah.
Because if you fight the culture war, people with wealth and power stay with wealth and power.
Yeah.
Everything gets redirected and stuff. It doesn't actually challenge anyone's power or money.
So that's why, like, one of the reasons I'm trying to be provocative about these bills is so that people can all people can realize this is going to hurt us all.
Yeah.
I mean, now the Bill C9 seems to be targeting against Christians because it's labeling because Bill C63, when it used in conjunction, Bill 63 is criminalizing quoting the Bible. So if you were to quote the Bible in public, somebody says that's hateful. Now you're going to jail. Meanwhile, they've said that it won't be.
It'll get. This is just the way it is. I mean, I've seen the conservatives do stuff, the liberals do stuff, I've seen the NDP do stuff.
Yeah, I don't trust any of them.
And you probably shouldn't, because I mean, the Emergencies Act was Trudeau used against the truckers.
Yeah.
That was thought of by the conservatives and passed by the conservatives in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about the 80s thing.
That's well, you remember the truckers, right?
Yeah. I went
and
there.
that was done by Mulroney in the 80s. And that was enacted, and the Tories wrote that up, and the conservatives passed that legislation. And, you know, these things get used.
Yeah.
Every government's done mountains of legislation over time, especially since 9/11 and stuff, right?
Yeah, there's a saying. I'm kind of cutting myself up. That's okay. So there's a saying where they're saying it's like the definition of insanity is going from one thing to back to the other thing, like it's going to be a different. And that seems to be what Canadians do between conservative and liberals.
It's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, it just honestly. We get the most when we elect minority governments that are forced to compromise.
Yeah.
And then, like, for instance, the Reform Party never won anything in government, like, federally. Never formed a government federally, but they ate the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party essentially is the Reform Party now. Even though the Reform Party never got anywhere, you know, in terms of forming a government.
I think we're going to need to build a whole new party.
The NDP have never formed a government, like, federally, but, like, when you get a liberal minority government, and then the NDP, they have to prop up the NDP. Like, I never would have got covered under COVID, because I was doing sales at the time. And people like me were not going to get covered under COVID payments.
Because you were in sales?
My
so
career,
sales did.
it's the way that my sale, it was commission, right?
Okay.
So that would have got wiped out. So the NDP fought for people like me to actually get COVID payments, because my career was basically over. Which is good. And they put through some dental care stuff, and they put through some, various things that actually helped regular people, while the liberals had a minority. And we got health care from liberals having a minority, and the NDP getting through health care.
You know what, that brings up a question. Now, I did want to focus on Bill C9 and C63, but I think this is okay to move on. So what do you think about the healthcare now? Because during COVID, there was a bunch of, I think there was like several thousand, give or take, nurse practitioners and some doctors that spoke out against what was in this vaccine. And then they were all fired because they took money out to make a news to address the people. And they were all let go. And then they were scrambling to hire people before they even finished their medical college.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, whether the vaccine's good or bad, testing wasn't done.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was no time. The testing that was done was.
And there's a lot of people with health conditions from it.
There's a lot of people with health conditions from it, I'm sure. But I mean, it's just like the voting's much more complicated, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you vote for the everybody should wear a gray shirt party, and then they go from like nobody in Parliament to like 6 MPs overnight.
Yeah.
Then they're going to be talking. All the parties are going to be talking about wearing gray shirts, because you can actually cause more movement by boosting up third parties in the polls than you can by supporting a winning party. Because the goal is not to win, to feel like you're on the winning team.
Yeah.
The goal is to figure out what matters to you and do the tactics which will get your stuff done.
Do you think that the average person, though, is going to be able to take the time and learn how to do all this?
They don't need to learn a whole lot. They just need to make sure that they know that, like, votes aren't wasted with third parties. But if you're right wing, the Reform Party ate the Conservatives, but they did never win. You know, and if you're left wing, the NDP accomplished more for regular people by just forcing the Liberals to compromise on minority governments than the people got out of Liberal governments.
Okay.
So, you know, that's just how it works.
So your feeling is like it doesn't matter what party's in power as long as they have a minority.
It's not magic, because
more or less.
The Conservatives had big bank funding. They used to get money per vote, and the Conservatives got rid of that, right? So that's how your vote used to matter, because it did a lot of good for everybody. But he used to play chicken. See, after the election, nobody's got any money, but the Conservatives can get bank money, right? I said, well, okay, I dare you, start an election.
Can I ask you something kind of completely off topic? So I actually recently just watched a very disheartening video of what's going on in Nigeria. So there's like a Christian genocide going on there, and it's on video. What they're doing is they're kidnapping the babies and they're cutting them in half. They're eating them. It's cannibalism.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. So let's just say. So you heard about the Christian genocide thing?
It's not the sort of geopolitics I follow, but there you go.
So basically, there's a Christian genocide going on because there's rising tensions between the three Abrahamic faiths. Now, I had a near-death. I'm gonna spill the beans. I had a near-death experience, so I'm trying to be a Christian. I wouldn't call myself that because I don't think I'm good enough. But I know that's not how it
works.
is. I know, but it's just like that's my inside dilemma. Right?
If you thought you were good enough, you'd suck at being a Christian.
Thank you. So there's some really bad atrocities going on there, and apparently I haven't looked as much into it as Sudan, but apparently it's there. And then you got what the regime had brought in fighters to do in Iran, and then I was just speaking to somebody from Iran, and they all thought that Trump and Israel were coming in to help them, right? But apparently, what they're saying from the ground is like the infrastructure is wrong and the regime's still in power.
Iran's enormously complicated.
Yeah, it is. It is a complicated issue.
We don't really get facts, because I'm old, right? So I lived through the Cold War.
Yep.
So there's a reason they say the first casualty of war is truth.
Yep.
So if you're hearing stuff about Iran or China or Russia,
from the
odds
news,
are it's all.
This is just from somebody from Iran. So that's the only reason.
Yeah, but
this is what they're saying.
The Iranian diaspora, right? Some of them left under the Shah, who was a bloodthirsty tyrant.
Yeah.
And some of them left. Then there was a wave that left because they filled their suit bags full of money when the Shah got taken out.
Oh, the people that were in power.
And then they were fleeing,
Yeah, like the rich and crack class.
And then there are the people who have just left since then because they wanted a better life.
So I would kind of combat what you said about the Shah. Like, now I bet he was, because I don't really know much about him. But looking back at the liberty that they had in that country compared to now, that's what I can see. It's very different, because in the 70s, they were like, women were able to wear shorts and go around and drive.
They can now too.
No, that's what they're getting killed from taking off the burqa.
That's not true.
It is.
No, not in Iran.
It is Iran. Yeah,
No.
I could show you a
In
video.
Saudi Arabia.
No, I can show you a video.
I understand there are videos, but there's a war on now, right?
Yeah.
So the Shah was brutal.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't know. I'm
so
saying,
in this, if you go back to the '60s, sure, you can find people normally dressed in Iran, but there were recent changes to the rules for women's clothing in Iran.
But how recent? Because they just killed like 80,000 people in a
didn't
week.
happen.
I'm talking to people that were there.
It didn't happen.
You don't. So you don't. Okay. So we agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree.
Okay.
But you gotta be careful of everything you hear.
This person's there.
When there's wars.
Yeah.
Because I lived through the Cold War, and a lot of what we hear is just nonsense.
Yeah.
As soon as there's a war, people spring up out of nowhere magically, and they're all over the television, they're all over the internet, and then out of nowhere, and then so you gotta be skeptical.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's being skeptical is very healthy in all things.
We put humongous amounts of money into like media campaigns over stuff like
and
Iran.
Propaganda, yeah.
And then it just we spread all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's enormously because I paid attention to geopolitics for decades, and it's usually two sides spreading a whole bunch of words.
I have to say, you're one of the people that has actually been more in depth about your opinion, and I really appreciate that.
Huh?
Yeah. Can I ask you one more thing? What do you think about the expansion of the MAID program in Canada? Because it used to, which I agree for the terminally ill, because I mean I wouldn't want. I mean, I'm on the fence, but I don't want to prolong somebody's suffering. But right now, there's been over 100,000 people that have been put down that didn't need to be put down. People that are awaiting real care.
So this is not a thing I know about.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
I mean, in terms of like concrete information, like real data,
there was a young girl with depression put down, and that's where I started looking into it.
Yeah, I mean, and there's probably certain people who maybe I think part of it is that people don't get any coverage of for mental health issues.
Like so now the parents are trying to get justice. So because it was against their will.
Would probably be better. I don't know if she was under 18 or not, but
I can't. Sorry.
But
yeah, I can't remember.
Better to cover. Well, if she was under 18, then the parents would have more to say, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. So, but I don't think they would have done it to an under 18-year-old anything. But that's.
I would hope
so,
not. But it's like it's with all the things going on in like medical science these days. It's pretty crazy. Like I don't know. You might be able to tell. Like I am kind of against sex change surgeries for people under 18. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people are viciously against that. But
I'm not a big person on this. I mean, I could say like, you can ask people. It's like, do you think that 12-year-old should be able to consent to have sex with somebody who's pregnant?
Like how old? Like another 12-year-old or somebody older?
Well, I mean, we already have Romeo and Juliet laws, right? So that's different.
Like
which we should.
16 with parental consent?
Well, since 2008, I think it's been 16 to have sex, right? But it used to be 14, and we didn't have.
I thought it was. I've always been under the assumption that it was 18 and then 16 with parental consent.
No. It's 16, and then it's used to be 14.
Okay.
But we
when was it 14?
Before 2008. So people used to be able to protect their kids before you got social media and cell phones and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then that was all right. So the kids did not get preyed on prior to 2008.
Especially with things like Roblox. Roblox has been apparently a breeding ground for people to lure children out.
If it wasn't Roblox, it'd be something else.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, it just like.
And kind of like at least we know which it is.
Well, I mean, a lot of people who are luring young people out, they're not interested in themselves. It's about money.
Oh, for sales.
And then they get
Yeah.
So usually kids are lured by people who don't want to sleep with their kids.
Yeah. You know, I would agree because I think most abductions are done by.
Yeah.
How, like, criminal organization, trafficking.
Yeah, there's definitely trafficking done, and it's like, I mean, because it's so politicized and it's so like it's a media hot topic. It's hard to know if the numbers are as bad as people think, but it's still ugly.
It is.
Either way.
So I guess on that subject, I mean, something that everybody's talking about, Epstein and the island. There was a guy on social media, Palm Beach Pete. People are saying that it's him, that he escaped death.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You know, these things do happen.
Yeah.
But then, you know, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
So they're gonna find stuff, and then if this is someone like, say, a Mossad operative, Epstein, then it could be fake death.
Yeah, Mossad is one of the greatest intelligence agencies out there. 100%. They're I've heard that they're top tier. 100%.
It's less so than back in the day, maybe.
Really?
If you go back 20, 30, 40 years, then they may not have what they used to have.
What makes you say that?
Well, I mean, I know the Army's degraded because, like, all the huge victories Israel had in the Army, those were World War II veterans. And then that was the later Army that was formed around.
I remember there's one like miraculous victory they had against Egypt after World War II.
Right, but those
were the tanks or something?
There were a bunch of wars. You had the war in the 40s and late 40s, and you had subsequent ones. You had 67 and 73. And
oh, sorry, I just thought there was this. There's like this whole thing. It's like I think it's still a conspiracy. I'm not sure, but there was like claims that Israel's Air Force tried sinking a U.S. ship because they overheard some radio chatter. They did.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's documented. It's fact.
So I only approach it carefully because a lot of people get angry on these things.
They do. I would personally not touch Israel as a topic with a 10-foot pole.
Oh yeah, especially because I'm on media. Now, just so you guys know, it just came up in conversation.
There's nothing more dangerous to talk about than that, regardless of what side you take.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I don't want to get kirked.
but you know, I think it's safe to say that their great victories from back in the day were when the core of their army was World War II veterans, especially ex-Soviet Army World War II veterans.
Okay. So I just watched this thing where they had Germany had this one operative that was so good he got somebody out of Spain. I think Mussolini or something out of Spain. So Israel was like, "We want you to work for us." He had a big scar on his face?
Well, yeah. Scorsese had a bit. I think it was
Scorsese sounds like an actor, though.
It was.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. It was the head of the paratroopers.
Yeah, and he flew gliders into Spain.
There was a lead guy who was the head of their Fallschirmjägers, which is the paratroopers.
Okay.
And it was not exactly for Scorsese. There was something in that ballpark as a name, right?
Yeah.
And then he used to know this when I was younger, but that he got Mussolini out.
Yeah.
And Mussolini went back, and then the Italians killed him. People just tore to pieces. So, but then what do you get? So.
Now I want to ask more questions directed to that time, but I'm not going to.
You had people like Moshe Dayan in Israel. He was he had a patch. One of their
cool.
founding fathers. So he was like this massive badass. He was like this terrorist against the British in like the 30s and stuff.
No, he was a terrorist?
Well, because he was a freedom fighter
against the British.
But because it's the British, you're a terrorist, right?
Fair enough.
So, and then they got
their
independence.
Sorry, there's a
and then you got, but then he became the head of the army, and he became like head of Ministry of Defense or something. And this is one of the founding fathers. He said like every war since '67 was doing.
Really?
So
he said that.
This is one of the founding fathers. I mean, this guy was This guy was hardcore, brutal, pro-Israeli.
So he's pretty honest too.
He was savage though.
Yeah.
So he was very on board with Israel just kicking ass.
That's pretty. If you're reviewing badasses, that's pretty cool.
He was a genuine, real-world badass.
That's wild. That most of the people, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they had to drop us off on D-Day. would we even make it these days? I don't think we were. Like, we would.
No, I mean,
Like, that was a different level of people.
it was a different level of people, used to harder living, but they were more fit. And then
Yeah.
they didn't have, like, we put high fructose corn syrup in everything.
And
it just
engine
it's-
oil, machine oil. The vegetable oil was made for machines.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can have, honestly, machines use all kinds of different lubricants. And it does, all kinds of different grades, all kinds of different
Yeah.
things they're made of, and I wouldn't worry about the connotations too much of different
So
uses.
one thing that I'm actually very worried about is fluoride in the drinking water, because it's been proven it doesn't really do much to the person who ingests it, but it does do something to their offspring. It lowers the IQ, and there was a guy who apparently knew this in advance when they first started putting it in as for people that didn't floss their teeth, which I think is silly. Because I mean, if they did that, why wouldn't they just give us free healthcare? I mean, dental. But
They're starting to give dental care,
yeah, which is good.
but that's because of the NDP compromising with the liberals, right?
Yeah, which goes back to what
then-
you were saying.
Which goes back to what I'm saying. So you can actually accomplish a lot more by ensuring that some little people get a huge boost that the other parties have to pay attention to.
What I was saying.
The fluoride, I don't know anything about the science of it,
Mm.
but I was going to say we probably do a lot more to kill IQs by having kids
With
have
social
high
media.
stress environments
Yeah,
and insufficient nutrition.
that's fair. That's fair. Now, fluoride is that thing. You know what fluoride is?
I know what fluoride is.
Okay. Okay.
But there's, connections to formaldehyde, I think, with it and how your body processes it and stuff. But
I haven't heard that.
I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk.
Yeah, I'd have to
on
look it
fluoride.
up. But
So,
do you have to get going?
I should probably get going.
Okay. Thank you very much. This has probably been one of my most in-depth interviews, and I very much
Good luck to
appreciate
you.
that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Take
Thank
care.
You. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care now. Have a good day. This has been Duty Bound, and that was an amazing interview. Hopefully I meet a lot more people like that, and we get to talking about important subjects. Actually, we had a bit of a history lesson there too, which was kind of fun. So let's just keep at it, guys. God bless.